Let's look into the film. In this video, we will be looking at Jabril Cox, a versatile linebacker. In high school, he played quarterback, wide receiver, as well as defensive back. So that explains his coverage ability, his range ability, and he can come down and hit on the outside of the box. I like this kid, and I like his temperaments, what he brings to the table. Absolutely.
I'm here with my grandson, James Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen,
with the 115th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, Dallas Cowboys select Jabril Cox, linebacker, LSU.
No doubt, Jabril Cox, man. 6'3", 233 pounds, versatile, especially outside of the box, and he is one of those guys that's great in coverage. His only knock is he's a little late on diagnosing of plays, and especially when it's time to figure out where the runner is going to be at times. Nevertheless, he's excellent in coverage, better outside the box detach, and he's a leader. He is an absolute leader at North Dakota. He already won 3 championships. And of course, you may see some of his height measurables saying 6'3 and a half, 6'3, 6'4. Let's just say that he's 6'3 and a half, okay? This is him pretty much keeping everything underneath, and he does a wonderful job of covering this tight end. Watch how he's able to flip his hips, still carry and follow the tight end, and still make the tackle for that minimal gain right there. Those are things that you're looking for as the linebacker, making sure that you keep everything in front of you, come downhill and tackle, make a sure tackle. Now, Jabril Cox does a great job of leveraging. Pursuit of this particular running back does a great job of containing and not allowing the runner to get more yards than necessary. Now, when we look at all of his skill sets, one can argue and say, well, diagnosis when he's inside the box may be a detriment, but outside of that, I still like Jabril Cox. Wherever he's lined up on the field, being able to tackle inside the box are some of his warts. But if you put him outside the box, he can make plays. And he just misdiagnosed on that play. Nothing wrong with that. At least he cut out the outside lane. Now, this is a great picture of having a linebacker that knows how to flip his hips and carry the tight end and get up under the ball to get the interception and bring it home. I love seeing this, especially if anybody coming out of side of the slot or the tight end, he's able to flip his hips and get around and make sure that he can get this particular INT. We know and we surely need a linebacker with this type of ability. Being able to make a play on the ball is everything. And look how he's able to ride on that side right here and react to the ball. Look, react to the ball. And on top of that, when the receiver open up, he's able to just jump right in front of that play right there. That's amazing. I like what he brings to the table in that aspect of it. Coverage ability. When he's detached from being inside the box, you see that playmaking ability. Even when it's a situation whereas you would think that, man, most linebackers not able to make a play on it, he opened up just like the ability of a safety, just like the ability of a cornerback. And being able to do that, that is remarkable. I know a lot of people would like to put him as the safety, but I like to have this weapon as my linebacker. And maybe down the line you can find another safety, because now this take away the middle of the field, the hook routes. This take away any flat routes that you are able to do, and you still have your safety out there on the field. Or in a pinch, if you need him to be versatile to flex that out to be the safety, you can do that. Let's not paint him into a corner. Let's make this more difficult for the opposing team, because he can line up pretty much anywhere. And thinking of that, this is him dropping back into the zone, keeping his eyes on the quarterback, got his hands underneath the ball and able to take it to the distance. Although he got knocked down at the 1-yard line, I still love this 1000%. Being able to take the ball away, getting the ball back to your offense is everything, and making sure that it's less work for them to do. We like seeing this, and he got this play just by being able to read the eyes of the quarterback, as well as understanding the route concept. Spread offense, knowing that he got over the top help, he got the cornerback doing his job, and all he got to do is just drop back into his own principles and he's able to pick it off. We love seeing this. And keep in mind, by him playing quarterback, by him used to being a wide receiver as a defensive back as well, all of these things come into play as it relates to football IQ, and he have a high level of football IQ. He knows where the ball is going at on the field and the concepts and the reason why. So that is an extra additive that he brings to the table. And when we think about everything, man, the Cowboys need this type of threat, a guy that can play the edge as well as on the outside. And this is a sure tackle right here, not allowing the quarterback to get more yards than necessary. Flip his hips, get back down, come downhill to trigger the tackle. Nevertheless, when you look at most of the scouts, this is Bucky Brooks, one of the guys that I follow his scouting report. He have Micah Parsons as number 1 on this list, and you can look down at number 4, you have Jabril Cox, who is one of the top linebackers out of this entire draft, which, man, we got to look into this thing and say to ourselves, what a steal. What a steal out of the draft, because you got him in the 4th round. And speaking of that, as Pro Football Focus put out a grade that Jabril Cox is the quote-unquote best linebacker in coverage altogether, collectively speaking. So he's on top of this list, and that's a great bargain that the Cowboys were able to get out of this draft. So when we think about the Dallas Cowboys pieces all together, yes, you have Leighton Vander Esch, Jalen Smith, Michael Parsons, as well as Jabril Cox. I believe that these two at the end, Michael Parsons and Jabril Cox, they are going to look into this opportunity to say, hey, we got to learn from what we can from these guys, but also take under consideration that we want their spots. That's what competition is. Iron sharpen iron, steel sharpen steel. Now, this is Jabril Cox at North Dakota. Had a different type of defense there. He was more of a downhill guy, and outside of the box, he can hit. He can lay the wood. I know a lot of people look at him and say, he can't hit though. Oh, no, 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 no. Boom. I love seeing this type of stuff. And he had north of 5 sacks with this particular team as the linebacker positioning, which is good. He can play on the edge as well. So that is what he brings to the table, that level of anticipation, knowing to keep everything in front of him, and he can cover the hook pretty well. Get aggressive with him, take the ball out of the sky. You saw the redirect. He's able to do that within the 5 yards. And I like seeing a linebacker who is the quarterback of the defense in this particular system being able to get the ball right back to the offense. Playmaking ability, being able to understand the route concepts and covering the middle of the field, the hook. Everybody knows the easiest pass for any quarterback is in the middle of the field. You got to have your playmakers, people that can go out there and make something happen, especially within the confines of the defense in the middle of the field. Now, hey, when you have Jabril, maybe that could be blitz packages. He's pretty good in blitzing situations. Here's Jabril Cox with a blitz, shoots right through the gap there and create that pressure. Now, this is labeled as a Sac Force Fumble because of the fact that the ball didn't travel beyond the LOS, and then on top of that, it was a backward pass, and he causes the hit there. So I like seeing this, especially from a guy that's trying to make a play on the ball. Now, we can look into this 1,000 times and say to ourselves, can the Cowboys utilize him in all of these ways? As a downhill blitzer, as a guy that can cover the flats as well as cover the tight end up the seam, or a guy that can cover anything that's in the middle. And you can move him around like chess pieces. You don't have to have him designated to a certain spot on the field. Your main objective to create pressure, to create turnovers and takeaways. As a linebacker, you want your linebacker to read, react, and explode, RRE. And that is exactly what he did on this particular play. Read, react, and explode. Linebackers do a lot of reading, and they got to do a lot of coverage. And in the red zone situation and scenario, can he blanket the guy in the red zone? Yeah, he can do that. We can see Jabril Cox on this play right here covering as the receiver trying to get open here. He's shadow and mirroring. That's one of the things that you want your linebackers to do, but most of you want your cornerbacks, your safeties to do, and he's able to do that from a linebacker role, which is a very, very underrated skill set for your player. You got to have your playmakers. Yes, you got to have a person that's also able to make coverage abilities and make it difficult for your quote-unquote opposition. When I think about Jabril Cox, I think that this guy, he can cover out in space. He can be the quote-unquote cornerback / safety guy that's coming from a linebacker position. He can blitz down inside, as well as he knows and understands the route concepts of any route that you will run, and he knows the philosophy upon which the quarterback is trying to do. So all of those things, you wrap it into one. You got your versatile linebacker. He's not super small. He's 6'3.5", or some people say 6'4", 233 pounds. So you got somebody that got flexibility, and he got a winning philosophy, a winning pedigree. He won 3 championships from North Dakota. That plays a major role as far as leadership, as far as command, and the ability to be that alpha male out there on the field. So yeah, when I give him the dog bark, that's because he established that he is a leader. He went into a brand new, fresh program, LSU, when everybody said that, hey, he would not be able to lead this particular team because he moved from one conference to another, and all he did was he led that team over there. So collectively speaking, I believe that the Dallas Cowboys got them a steal out of Jabril Cox. Give him a chance to prove what he can bring to the table, and let this be a fair battle between him and the rest of his contemporaries. Look, I don't know what else to say about this kid, but I can tell you guys that the Dallas Cowboys got them a steal from Jabril Cox. Post me your thoughts, post me your concerns down below. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Impressive. Outstanding.